Hello all and welcome to another entertainment video. It's Art here with a book review for Don't Burn This Book by Dave Rubin. This is a non-fiction book that I read that I wanted to read. I actually listened to it on Audible, so Dave Rubin actually read it, which was awesome because he was able to convey his ideas in the book with his own words and his own tone and inflection that you may know from YouTube and Rumbles and Locals Rubin Report. Dave Rubin came to prominence on the Young Turks YouTube channel. He was a long-time Democrat, a long-time leftist, and this book explores his journey of how he left the left. His words, not mine. I will not get political in this review, but the book itself is of a political nature, so if you don't like political books, this may not be the book for you. But I would argue that it is, because this is a political book that lets you think the way you want to think, explains that you thinking the way you want to think is okay, and you shouldn't have to kowtow to either the woke mob, which we know is out there, or the alt-right conservative mob, which we also know is out there. So this is a centrist or an independent voters in the U.S.'s and around the world dream of a book because it makes you think. It is a thought-provoking book in both a, I never thought of it that way, and also a deep, what's the word I want to use? A deep thinking voice, a deep, a challenging voice where he challenges you to put your ideals up against his, and he shoots fire at them, and you should always be willing to challenge yourself and be malleable in the way that you believe so that you can, because your values should always be able to withstand the test of scrutiny, which is something he poses and something I myself do live by. I do watch the Rubin Report. I don't always believe what he says, but I, unlike most of people on Twitter, can agree to disagree with him on some things. And there's some things in the book that I was just like, that's a little bit too far. But I still found the book enjoyable. He was still able to reach me on some level. And I think he would reach most self-thinking and independent-minded and independent-thinking Americans. And people around the world. And that's why I read this book. Because I wanted to find out what made him change. What makes him tick. I also wanted to find out his beliefs so that I know where he's coming from. He is a former stand-up comic too, I found it from the book, which lends the book to being funny at times too. It's humorous at times. It is serious, but he remembers to break up the seriousness of it with levity. I thought it was an excellent book for what I wanted to read. I thought it was an amazing go-around, an amazing thing to do with books, and I thought it was great in the sense that it was a top-notch, well-thought-out, deeply reasoned book. I'm not saying I agreed with everything he said, but I will say it's a thought-provoking, deeply well-reasoned, well-written, humorous look on what he believes and what made him, because his original title for the book, which he says in the very beginning, is Why I Left the Left. And it is a very tight story. It is a very concise story. He also doesn't bash people that think the other way. He does call them out when he calls both sides out, honestly, when they're being hypocrites, when the hypocrisy is abound, which is great to see. But he also doesn't throw anybody under the bus, even though many times in his line of work he's been thrown under the bus. He gets very deeply personal with his story and why he did what he did, which I found to be engaging, engrossing, and deeply involved, which is what you want in a nonfiction book. That's why on my scale, it's a read it, own it, love it, because I did love this book. It is a 5-star book because it was written well, it was humorous at times, thought-provoking, it was a well-reasoned argument, which is a history major, which I am. I really need, if you're going to pose me an argument, whether I agree with it or not, it has to be well-reasoned for me to understand it and for me to see it as a viable argument. And he puts forth viable arguments. Not saying I agree with everything, but you don't have to. The way I was raised is you can agree to disagree at times. You don't have to subscribe to everything. An independent thinker is key. And if you're an independent thinker, then this book is for you. Should you read it? Well, if you're an independent thinker, if you like Dave Rubin, if you like the well-reasoned arguments and want to challenge your own beliefs, this book is for you. If you're either dead set in your beliefs, or you're don't like your beliefs challenged in any such way, and you're in an echo chamber, well, you've already dismissed this book anyway. So that's the way I look at that. It is a 5-star read on the GoodReads scale. It is a read it, own it, love it. Not going to go too much more into it, and not going to gush about it too much, but I will say this. I am glad that I picked it up. I am glad that I read it. And it was certainly a palate cleanser from Double or Nothing that was a huge disappointment in that realm. But without further ado, you know I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Please ding the notification bell to be notified when I upload a video. And until next time, happy reading. I'll see you again soon. And peace.